Hi everyone, so today we're going to work with Chapter 9, Section 1, Quadratic Graphs and Their Properties. We're on page 546 in the textbook. So the form of a quadratic function looks like this. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Now a, b, and c are any number, but a cannot be equal to 0. This form right here, this form is known as the standard form of a quadratic function. The simplest quadratic function is f of x is equal to x squared, or y is equal to x squared. These two are exactly the same, but one is just f of x and one is y. This one you'll touch on in Algebra 2, that the f in front just means a function. So these two are known as the quadratic parent functions. The graph of a quadratic function is a U-shaped curve called a parabola. So remember when we did linear equations, we were talking about lines. They were some form of a straight line. A quadratic function is going to look like the letter U. It's a U shape. So this is what our quadratic function looks like. It's a parabola, and our parent function here is y equals x squared. And this is the parent function of all quadratic functions. So anything else, any other graph is going to basically be a play on this parent. You can fold a parabola so that the two sides match exactly. The fold, or the line that divides the parabola into two matching halves, is called the axis of symmetry. Over here, this blue line right here, this would be, or where I shaded in blue, that this line here where the numbers are marked off, that would be your axis of symmetry. If we were to pretend to fold this parabola in half, this side over here would line up nicely with this side over here, and vice versa. This side would line up with that side. You would fold it this way, not top to bottom. So the highest or the lowest point of a parabola is its vertex, which is on the axis of symmetry. So basically right here, this is your axis of symmetry. Here would be your vertex. And as a reminder, coordinates on a graph have the following form. It's always x comma y. And as a reminder, this yellow line right here, this is our x-axis. And this blue line right here, that is our y-axis. It's always x comma y. So if a is greater than 0 in the form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, the parabola opens upward. The vertex would be the minimum, so the lowest point of the parabola. And here's what I mean by that. Parabola is opening upwards. Our a is greater than 0. Vertex right here is a minimum. And then over here, if a is less than 0 in y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, the parabola opens downward. The vertex is the maximum, or the highest point of the parabola. So over here we see minimum, the lowest point, maximum is the highest point. So minimum, when we have that, it's going to open up. Maximum, when we have it, it's going to open down. So now we're going to practice identifying a vertex. What are the coordinates of the vertex of the graph? And then I want to know, is it a minimum or is it a maximum? So here we have this graph. The first thing I would say to go ahead and do is you could say first, is it a minimum or a maximum? So do we have a vertex? Where's our vertex? It's over here. Minimum or maximum? It's a minimum. Why? Because the parabola is opening upwards, or it's because it's the lowest point on the graph. And then this green shaded region right here, this point right here, that is your vertex. So remember, our vertex form is x comma y. So to find what this exact point is, we have to look on the x-axis. Remember, x-axis is right here, and the y is going up and down. So we're going to go over to where this point is. So it's at 1, and so our x value is 1, and our y value is -1. So our vertex is 1, -1. What are the coordinates of the vertex of the graph? Now I want to know minimum or maximum. So we have this graph over here. First thing, what do we have? Min or max? We have a max. Why? Because it's the highest point, or also because the graph is opening down. So we have a maximum. This green shaded region right here, that's our vertex. So remember, vertex form, x, y. So what's our x coordinate here? X coordinate is 0, because we haven't moved to the left or to the right. And then what's our y value? This is 1, 2, 3. So our vertex would be 0, 3. Once again, what are the coordinates of the vertex of the graph? Is it a minimum or a maximum? So we have this one here. So min or max? It's a maximum. Why? Because it's the highest point, or also because it's opening downward. Here's our vertex where I kind of went ahead and shaded in. You don't have to shade it in. That is completely fine. Just know I'm just doing this so that you guys can see it right here. So this is our vertex. Once again, vertex goes x, y. So now we got to figure out these coordinates. So we want to figure out where it lines up right here and it meets here. So our x value is 1 and our y value is 1, 2, 3. So our vertex is 1, 3. Same thing. What are the coordinates of the vertex? Is it a min or is it a max? So we have this graph over here. What do we have? Min or max? We have a minimum because this is the lowest point on the graph, and the graph is opening upwards. And then this one's a little easier to see. There's like a little dot right over here for our vertex. Remember, it's always x, y. So our x value is, remember, this side of the graph is negative and this side is positive. So our x value is -2, and then our y value is 0. Why is it 0? Because the graph isn't up or down, it's on the axis, the x-axis, so it's 0. So our vertex is -2, 0. As always, here is our pet of the day. This little guy is Flynn. Flynn was rescued from a backyard from underneath the shed. This is when he was first rescued. He fit inside a tissue box. So some daily reminders. Your homework is assigned daily and is posted on Google Classroom and Plus Portals. Remember to upload it to Google Classroom or email it to me before the start of class. If I don't get it before, it's considered late and you don't get full credit. Your test packets are due to me by Tuesday, June 9th. And later in the week, I will announce when your quiz will be next week. Have a great day, guys. Let me know if you have any questions.